यहाँ #1 रहना एक जरूरत है। ये जंग जीतना हर एक टीम का सपना है और इस सपने को पाने के लिए ये अपना सब कुछ दांव पर लगाने को तैयार है। Pakistan is ready for the ultimate action.
Hello and welcome to PubG Mobile Pro League Pakistan Fall Split 2022. We are going to get ready right now with a 3-week affair. I'm going to be a host, cast and analyst. Not joined in with none other than Fixes. So, mate, again, after a long time, we're joined in with this Pakistan region and it is going to be a dominating one. What are you expecting this time around? True.
Absolutely love that is aggression and just going in for as many fights. Because, you know, I was taking a look at the teams. There have been a few shuffles here and there. There have been a few favorites, you know, going into other teams. And that creates all that drama, all that spice, for which I'm really looking forward to.
Absolutely, Fixes, because this time around, it is not only, I mean, the teams definitely do always end up having shuffles, but at the same point in time, the biggest change this time around is going to be the way the points themselves, the format, right? The format itself, the way it is being structured. It is so very much weighted and, in fact, appreciated, I'm sure, as well, from the fans as well as the players and the teams.
Exactly, right? This whole new format that has really come up, we're definitely going to talk more about it as things go on. But, you know, this entire format has been catered to ensure that the players are putting their best foot forward every single game. Because if you are topping the week leaderboards by the end of your respective weeks, then, you know, we all know what happens, right? You get those bonus points, for which we will of course have a quick look at the format explainer video.
हम एक बार फिर से वापस आ चुके हैं एक और PUBG मोबाइल के सीजन के साथ, जहां पाकिस्तान की टॉप टीम्स अपने रीजन की बेहतरीन टीम्स बनने की कोशिश में मेहनत करेंगी। तमाम जोश और ड्रामा जो कि स्प्रिंग सीजन से चलता आ रहा है, हम तैयार हैं सारे जोश और जज्बे और एक्शन को नए फॉर्मेट में देखने के लिए। PMPL पाकिस्तान फॉल स्प्लिट 2022 की लीग स्टेज को 3 हफ्तों में तकसीम किया गया है। हर हफ्ता 5 मैच के दिनों पर मुश्तमिल होगा और हर रोज 5 मैचेस खेले जाएंगे। टीम को ग्रुप में शफल किया जाएगा और हर टीम एक दिन में 4 मैचेस खेलेगी। हफ्ते के इख्तिताम पर टॉप की 12 टीमें एक इजाफी मैच लिविक मैप पर खेलेंगी। हर हफ्ता नया शुरू होगा और पिछले हफ्ते के आदात शामिल नहीं किए जाएंगे। लीग स्टेज के दौरान टीम्स को बोनस पॉइंट्स हासिल करने का मौका मिलेगा। यहाँ 4 मौके बोनस पॉइंट्स हासिल करने के होंगे, 3 बार हर हफ्ते की दर्जाबंदी के हिसाब से और 1 बार मजमूई दर्जाबंदी के हिसाब से। 3 हफ्तों के इख्तिताम पर टॉप की 16 टीमें अपने कुल बोनस पॉइंट्स की बुनियाद पर फाइनल्स में चली जाएंगी। वो टीम्स अपने फाइनल्स की शुरुआत अपने बोनस पॉइंट से ही शुरू करेंगी, जो उन्होंने पूरे लीग स्टेज में हासिल किए थे। इसका मतलब जो टीम लीग स्टेज में अच्छा करेगी, उसको फाइनल्स में मायने खेज फायदा होगा। फाइनल का खेल 3 दिन पर मुश्तमिल होगा, जहां हर रोज 6 मैचेस खेले जाएंगे। तीसरे दिन के इख्तिताम पर जिस टीम के सबसे ज्यादा पॉइंट्स होंगे, वो PMPL पाकिस्तान की चैंपियन कहलाएगी। इसी के साथ टॉप 6 टीमें PMPL साउथ एशिया चैंपियनशिप के लिए क्वालिफाई करेंगी। अब किस तरह टीम्स नए फॉर्मेट से वाकिफ होंगी, जानने के लिए हमारे साथ बने रहिए।
Well, Fixes, talk about this format a little bit more, mate, because I think, you know, the viewers as well are going to need to understand how big a change this actually is, because you've got, well, all the games that are going to be played throughout, but at the same point in time, that one very important bonus match on Livic, how crucial that's going to be a part of that league finale.
Of course, now, you know, talking over it, you know, in a rather more simpler manner. So we do have 25 matches being played in a week. So every team, they've been divided into 4 groups each. So we've got 5 groups over here, 20 matches per team. And after those 20 matches, the top 12 teams, whoever they are, they're going to have that one bonus matchup, which is going to be in Livic, and that earns you those extra points. But we're all going to talk more about this. But, you know, again, taking a look at the teams, the matchups, it's going to get so much more exciting, right? But there you have it. We are fighting for this very thing, the moolah, the money, the sweet honey, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about $100,000 on the line, the first position out of which gets $10,000. Now that happens in the finals, plotter, because if you talk about the league stages, it's $2,500 for every participating team.
Absolutely, and that of course is going to be a big motivator for these teams. But again, we know for a fact that when it comes to this big a league, right? Yes, the money factor does become very important, but at the same time, that much more is going to be the fact that yes, these teams have qualified, and now it's about being a part of that South Asia Championship itself, taking your country's name all the way out towards that. That itself is like a huge undertaking that these teams hopefully are going to be looking forward to. But in all of that, of course, one very important thing that we know about Fixes from Pakistan region is these teams are very aggressive. These players, they do not like to fall back. And in that, every single time that we've casted these games, we've looked at those elimination points just racking up.
Oh yeah, of course. And this is the only thing that I feel hasn't really changed, right?
Exactly.
It's been there for quite some time. But yes, pretty much standard. If you get the chicken dinner, you're getting 15 points. And so on, it reduces. But that one elimination point for every single elimination that you get, that really becomes handy. That is what really defines this region, because we see fights starting right from the get-go, and teams do not really hesitate. Now, there have been a lot of ruckus around those swaps that we've been talking about, right? One of those biggest ones is, of course, Crypto leaving the region, heading over to the EU region. Now he's been replaced by IQ from Quantum Rage. And the next big thing that the next big swap has been, of course, Khan 420 Boy, right? Making his way into QWERTY. Now, that is something that I'm really excited for. We've had a little bit of shifts here and there as well, 52x Rage just being 52 esports. Now the players of Rage have become a part of Magnus esports. So we'd really have to see, because they were the defending champions. Now the team has been split apart. So maybe this time again, there might be a new champion, or maybe the owners kind of comes down to 52. Maybe Magnus could be the ones, contending that we're the right claimants to the throne. But this is the world of PubG Mobile. You've got to earn your points, fight your way right to the top.
Absolutely. And in all of that, I'm also sure and certain pretty much as well, when it comes to the fans, there's still going to be that sliver of a hope, definitely from that one team that we're going to be rooting for. That's going to be Bablu perhaps. And that is one team that has gone ups and downs. But overall, let's talk about the teams, as we do have 20 teams which are being divided, of course, and 5 groups that are going to be in front of us. Group A, we are looking at 4 teams that are going to be starting things off, which again, as we just mentioned, right, Bablu is going to be part of that. So we are going to be looking at this team going to be playing the first 3 games as the day starts off. Overall, 5 games going to be played out. So expectations from these groups. Fixes, which group do you think is going to be the most devilish, for lack of a better term?
I mean, to be honest, I think most of these groups really look well balanced. But talking about Group E, we've got all the big guns over here. You've got R3G, North Esports, then we've got Freestyle, H2E, teams that we've been seeing right from the iteration of the game. And R3G, one of those teams, they do have those big names, but relatively recently, we have seen a little bit of a dip coming in their performance. So a lot on the line to prove as well. But if you talk about, the Pakistani circuit as of what it is right now, it has again got to be about the same storyline. Team IA, then you've got QWERTY, T20. And these are the 2 teams that, would be the hardest contenders for the title. But you know what, Lakshay, we've always been privy to surprises, right? The last time also, we witnessed 52x Rage coming out of nowhere in the spring split and taking that crown away, representing the region even in the PMWI, the championship, everything just happened. But this time, yes, it's a new show, it's a new start, and we're gonna come in with a blank canvas, right? Nothing thinking out of them, because there have been those days, right? You expect this team to perform and they do not, and someone else takes the bread. So let's see what happens today.
Absolutely. It's a new playing field. It's a new battleground with a completely different set of, adaptation that is going to be required in terms of how these teams, synergistically play out the entire league. Because as we were mentioning about those points, now this again, viewers, it becomes very, very critical to try and understand. Yes, the games are going to be played throughout. We're looking at 5 games, 5 individual maps that will be played out throughout. But in the end, we are also going to be keeping a very keen eye towards which those 12 teams are going to be that will participate on day number 5, game 6, which will be played on Livik. And that Livik map Now that is where the bonus points are going to be accumulated, and that changes the entire scenario. But overall, right now, as we talk about those points, well, those bonus points are going to be on our screens, and this is what I was talking about. Weekly bonuses are, of course, going to be awarded to these teams as they play, and of course, the ranking that they get will be accumulated. But overall, to participate in those finals with the bonus points, it becomes a completely different playing field.
Oh, of course, it is indeed, right? Now, your only motto has to be about winning, about getting that chicken dinner, those 15 points. It's no more about trying to be consistent, Lakshay, because if you think about it, all those bonus buffer points, let's say you've been topping your 8, they're getting those finish points, they're engaging in early battles, and this has sort of been their ritual, right?
Fourteen finishes. Freestyle, well, Freestyle is from Group E, so we'll bring up a conversation about them later. But yeah, TFD and Mediashock, these are teams that we know are a very big team and name to deal with. And well, the X factor. Let's now change the conversation from the teams that we already know what to expect and how hyped up they are definitely going to be because of their past history, to the teams that were underperforming. Let's say the dark horses of the league, if I can say so, because there aren't any, because all of these players definitely are known. They've created themselves in such a way that they are here 100%. From the entire Pakistan region. But what teams come to your mind when it comes down to those sort of dark horses, if we can say so?
I think, a few names pop up over here. I think one of them would be Triple Esports from Pakistan. Like, it's one of those teams that is, again, a new name. But the players, we've seen them in the past.
Exactly.
And I'm kind of excited to see what do they offer. Now, like you said about Meteor Shot Sky Esports. Now, this is one of those teams that I think kind of had a really decent start, and they believed in consistency, right? If you talk about Ash being one of those IGLs for his team, he's delivered. Now, but then again, you've got to keep in mind there are 2 Ash in the roster. You've got an Ash, you've got an Ash MVP. But regardless, ladies and gentlemen, it is the first game of the evening of this tournament. So fasten your seatbelts, because we are taking this big bird to the sky all the way from up top north. And now, as you can see, 3 of the teams have already decided to take a plunge.
Absolutely. Winner. Chicken dinner will be decided with Oppo F21 Pro from this game, which is powered by Oppo, the official PubG Esports smartphone sponsor in Pakistan region. And yes, you heard it right. This is going to be the first game. 5 games going to be played throughout the day. Erangel going to be the first map for all these teams. And again, now, as soon as the team starts off, or rather the day starts off, it's always the conversation on the analyst and the caster's desk turns out to be, well, this is just the first game. Perhaps the teams are going to be trying to understand each other and the kind of playground that they are dealing with, right? In terms of the battleground and the synergy and the strategy that is going to be applied. But at the same point in time, I ask you a different question. This is the Pakistan region that we already know. These are aggressive bunch. I mean, do you think they're going to play that passive play on day one?
Nah, that's not gonna happen, right? Anything else in the world might happen, but that thing, you really cannot take out the very crux from this region. And we know Pakistan is known for his relentless aggression and how they just go in, hammer everybody down. But taking a look at this particular circle, I think we've started off a little slow this time, because it's going to be a standard one. Not a lot of teams outside, because again, you do have TG, you've got I8. They're going to be heading to, of course, military base. That's iconic. And even the same goes for Team QWERTY, right? Taking a look at them, that Lipovka spirit, that is there. 52x Esports. Now, this is one of those teams that we did talk about. We do have a fight already breaking out, and this is going to be around that little squad house just opposite to Water City. It is, of course, going to be Team TMW going up against 3x. Now, you've got Kratos. The big question is he aware of Reaper's presence?
Oh, he better be. All these audio cues, whereas Kratos is not giving any, he better be. But again, Reaper definitely knows, and he's keeping a keen eye out towards the same exact angle, but Kratos not moving a muscle. And at the same time, on the minimap, we can see that the teammates are also subdivided amongst themselves from the side of 3x, whereas from TNW, same is the case. So a bit of a stalemate situation that these two teams find themselves near the ruins area. But at the same time, it all boils down to who has the better loot, who has the better gun, who's going to be able to get that better skill showcased in the first few minutes. And right off the bat, we've got Kurma off the flank angle from TMW, taking on the shots against Kratos, and just a perfectly set up Kraken shot to the head, and Kratos goes down. So that brings in our first blood situation right here. And this is the first elimination. TMW's Kurma goes down, thanks to, of course, the approach given by TMW.
Yeah, of course. Now, this was sort of bound to happen, right? Considering how they were positioned. Because, again, for Kurama, it's not yet over. Because if you have Mary trying to go after him, is he even aware of his presence? That's the thing that we really need to look out for. Because considering the fact that when these teams drop, you do have those parachutes opening up. And I believe from TMW making those moves, they have a slight idea of maybe where Mary could possibly be, but they seem to be heading the other side, the opposite side, so they have no intentions. All they want is that vehicle, they get it, they get that elimination, and now they're just moving forward.
Absolutely, and it seems like it is going to be a tough affair for these two teams, because they are so close to each other's vicinity, and now they've got a revenge factor from the side of 3X as well, as they bring themselves closer towards the spacing of TMW. And TMW, they are unaware. Well, unaware definitely not, but they are definitely not ready for this push coming in from the side of 3X, where 3X themselves, they are subdivided. One player goes to the other side, the other player is nowhere around to give that sort of a cover fire, and easily M7 is going to be able to easily bring that player down. And not only that, he's ready for another one. UMP in his hand, 666 perfectly bringing in that aggressive spray. A second elimination finish point goes towards him, towards his team. 3 points already converted, and what a perfect play being showcased. What a synergistic play being showcased on the side of TMW. But 3X, yeah, we can talk a lot more about how they approached this entire saga. And the synergy, yeah, that was lacking over there. The communication in terms of that push was definitely lacking.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I could get what 3X were trying to do, but again, just going in like that when you have your player completely on his first-person perspective with that Uzi, you know how deadly of a weapon that can be, right? And for a little while, he was M7 was all by his lonesome, and he had no cover till then. Because we did witness that early on, they took out that vehicle, and we were wondering why. I think they wanted to go away. No, they were trying to save his teammates from a bloodbath, and it was not really required, right? It was just M7. Yeah. The first knock was pretty much standard, but what he did then takes a lot of courage, right? Just going to the balcony, taking that jump, just hip firing through, getting that finish over there would certainly help TMW's morale and trying to get that chicken. And this is what we were talking about, right? The Pakistan region, the aggression, right off the bat.
It is. I mean, as you were just mentioning that, I was looking at the time on the top right-hand side, and we're just only 6 minutes into the game. Already looking at 3 finishes confirmed till now, which itself is just in the crux, just what Pakistan region offers every single time. And also at the same point in time, this is just the start. This is just day one, game one. This is just the start. This is just teams getting warmed up. And once they do start creating those sort of rivalries amongst each other, that is when the real shine and skill of these players is going to be showcased. But right off the bat, again, this is definitely the kind of play that I anticipated from this region as well as these teams, and they are delivering that. But at the same time, 3X, I'm sure they're going to go back to that drawing board to try and understand, that could definitely have been done a little better. That push coming in from the vehicle, from the buggy, was perfect, but at the same time, if he would have had the cover of his teammate, would have had a better luck, I guess, in that fight. But nevertheless, I mean, that's what Battleground is about. Some fights you lose, some fights you won.
Of course, I mean, I 100% agree with you. Because obviously, before making that push, he was unaware that his opponent had an Uzi with him. Now, if both the players would have pushed simultaneously in tandem with each other, the moment you take for a reload, that is where the trade could have come in. Because till then, we did not have all the players of TMW sort of recuperating at a certain point and trying to fight it out. Now that was these are the plain old basics, but again, making those few mistakes, maybe a little cocky, thinking that he's gonna get the better out of him, and well, I have to say the same old line again. It's the first game.
Exactly, and it is the Pakistan region. This is what we want to see, but at the same point in time, what we do not want to see is from the side of Quraish Esports. As we can see, they have started the game and the day with just 3 players this time around. And I mean, from Quraish Esports, we've seen the likes of Sadarji, Mani, Clown. Now, these are players who have played earlier as well and from the team and have been phenomenal from the side. But hopefully, next game onwards, they're going to be able to get the fourth player into the lobby as well. But this time around, just 8 minutes into the game, these teams definitely are making those rotations from the Nova Pro region. We can clearly see that Metershot are looking forward to just getting themselves out of this area as the Blues have caught up to them.
Oh yeah, I mean at this point everyone just wants to traverse around, get their loot done, respect the circle. For Meteor Shot Sky, it has been pretty much simple. The moment you head over to it.
लाइक कर दो फटाफट, लाइक कर दो, लाइक दबा दो फटाफट, फटाफट से दबाओ, मैं देख रहा हूँ लाइक।
Well, Fixes, we've got I8, the team you spoke about, the team you mentioned, the team you've got high expectations from. They are on the run, they are on the move, they are making that rotation, and also loving the fact that they are in the hills. They've got a lot of information, but on the other front is going to be Bablu. What are your expectations this time around from them?
I think this is where I'm really keen to look out at how Pan is going to perform, because he's one of the latest entries into the squad. Of course, they've lost out on a huge cannon that they had. Was Khan 420 boy, right? And with that, they are going to be taking a little bit of a denture. But from what we know from this team, right, what we know from coming out of Teen Wolf, he's one of those players that has been there right from the very start of the entire competitive scene in Pakistan. So he knows how to pick his boys. He's produced talents in the past. But yeah, this time I think Pan would have that little bit of a storyline that Gravity had the last time, and he somehow still managed to come out through. And this is an important moment, important day. He needs to deliver, because we've got so many Bablu fans just waiting for the glory days of Bablu to be back.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, that is something that will always be reminiscent of from the Pakistan region. And again, I say reminiscent because that is what we remember. But this could be history in the making altogether in this fall split Pakistan 2022 in PMPL. But right now, as we do have Team Stars, God Fury on our screens now. Again, God Fury's action also we've seen the sprays that the man has, the skill to be able to come over his opponents is absolutely pristine. And also keeping in fact that they've got the compound wherein right in front is going to be our 3Ds and Ubers. Ooh. Okay, this is going to be a crazy turn of events right now because TMW's Reaper is all by his lonesome and TUF, they've all latched themselves on this compound. There's no way Reaper's getting out of here alive.
Oh yeah, but we've seen miracles happen by TMW so far. Has wanted to get that first knock, could not really succeed, and TUF getting the better out of it. TMW had such a beautiful start to the game just to fall right now. Now TUF, this is one of those teams that we had been talking about, right? One of those teams that we really needed to look out for. They knew that TMW, they were creating a lot of noise. Now why not just cut the snake's head from the very start, not let it get more venomous or whatever it is. But this is what we're talking about. TMW did manage to get those 3 eliminations, but right after losing out on Reaper, that is not a good news for them.
Absolutely, and right now we do have again Star going to be on our screens where indeed their compound itself is being hammered on upon from the side of TFD, and this is going to be a very evilish approach that we can anticipate from their side because they're already from the down low, from the ground floor with all of their nade parades, but same is the case from the side of Star as well. Now this team, we have seen some performances, some miracles happen from the side of Star, but will that be enough to help them out? It seems that's going to be the case because Hunks perfectly set up nade is going to be able to help their cause, but will that be enough? Because again, these teams, they are not wanting to back out. If they've decided they're going to be entering the compound, they are going to be entering, and they're going to be entering and delivering that in style. But TFD, thankfully, all the 4 players were around, and that is how they will be able to give that revival. So this is a tough fight for Star to take because 4 players from the side of TFD altogether against the 2-man army from Team Star in this one compound.
So at this very moment, right, Team Star wants to back off because you've got other players who do not have the best of angles. Now, when you've got that entire squad pushing on you, the ideal strategy would be, of course, to try and take a fight in the situation you cannot really escape. Create a crossfire. As simple as that. Let the team come in because the moment you try to enter the first floor, there's a slight narrow pathway, and that is where you can get your enemies. And I guess somewhere down the line, TFD did realize for a fact that it's going to be very difficult to push. So why not back off, take a good position around Rozok, stay around the center of the circle for as long as you can, and get along with all the games. But right now, this is again a thing of concern. Now, Team Star, they've been split up so wide apart from each other. Now, imagine Osama being pushed in by a completely different squad. Now, they would be definitely in tatters, and that is a possibility, especially if you take a look at the circle that has shifted exactly towards the eastern side.
So true, as you were mentioning, I was just looking at the top right where indeed, when you talk about that zone, it is all up for grabs for any other team to come in against the players of Team Star. But again, Team Star, I'm sure, are aware, but they are surrounded. They definitely are surrounded. They cannot get themselves outside the compound. And on the other front, it is going to be I8 Ghost taking on shots against Khatir from MS, as Khatir does go down. I8 bringing themselves 1 finish point confirmed for their side, as well as TFD with that M249. Completely ready with that styler approach, but not going to be allowed. Even a spray, Team Star. This is a miraculous play coming in from Miracle. Right in front, he had M249, but nothing taken apart as Team Star's Miracle was all down right to take that shot, and the skill was completely shown in that first spray itself.
But now we do have another fight breaking amidst us, right? MSK, they have been taking a lot of beating up to the point where IQ finally steps himself on the board, getting that final finish, and of course I8 eliminating MSK. Now this is what we had been talking about, right? Those early jitters, but now it's still not over. Now they want to go even after Team Magnus. Now this is again one of those teams that we were really looking out for, and Uzim, just being the IGL that he really is, gets that knock, and now one more knock, and I'm pretty sure that I8, they're going to be making that push.
Oh, as we look at this fight, the third-party approach that we're talking about, Star has been approached from the side of 52X, but on the other front, as we bring ourselves back to what is on our screens, I8, they are dominating. I mean, they just completely squad wiped Meter Shot Sky, and now they're pushing on against Magnus, where indeed we did see Uzum's perfectly set up nades were bringing in a lot of damage, but sadly that's not converted into a point as of yet. But the points definitely are being showcased on the other side, from side of Quantum Rage, as they bring in shots, as well as, of course, perfectly set up nades, but oh, is that going to be a bit too close? Senior goes down with his own nade? No, it was Destroyer, but although that was close, that was crazy close.
No,
it does go down thanks to his own nade. Oh, how... That's class 101. The door is open. You've got all the ordinary cues, but Senior, he was just too relentlessly wanting to push against that compound and not be out in the open for that long.
Slippery fingers, and then add just that tinge of nervousness, right? Because we haven't really seen a lot out of Senior, and he knew that he's got his backs against the wall. Either it is do or die, and he just chose not to give away those important finish points to the opposition. I mean, that is the silver lining that we've been talking about. But for now, taking a look at the circle, right? It's kind of around those little Rozok hills that we have. If you do have good control, and Team Bablu indeed does, and they are making good work of it, right? 52X Daku, he's been taken down, and so has Zibyan. There's a trade-off. Now you've got to get in those revives. But 52 Esports, now they decide, they do know that two players of Bablu are up top, but they also need to watch out for the surroundings, because the moment you turn your heads away, you've got a plethora of teams inside the Rozok city itself wanting to get inside the zone.
Well, Teen Wolf right there from Bablu taking on that perfectly set up nade and bringing in first finish point for the team, as we do have Pharaoh from 52 Rage going down. But again, now talk about Bablu's approach as well. They are an aggressive bunch of team, but at the same time, they are really divided, wherein we've got two players up on towards the northern side of the mountain and two of them into the compounds. Now, this split approach that they've got going on could very well work out. It is definitely working out, but they better be careful because there are other teams in the vicinity as well. And right now, it's going to be Fan from Bablu, along with his nades that is definitely going to be falling back on to himself. But again, quick thinking right there from his side as he's going to be falling back. And that nade, just that liver, that sliver of HP that was needed to be damaged from 52 Rage's player will be going down, and they will get another elimination point.
You know, I love the impact of Pan right off the bat, right? He's the one getting those informations. He's the one, going in for the peaks. He's the one ready to take the beating. So from what it's really evident, I feel that he might be that entry fragger that Team Bablu needs for a long time. As I8, they had a really good start, but they're kind of caught off in a no man's land, right? Where they have nowhere really to hide. And the grounders, they're going to ensure they're going to make their lives hell. But for now, it's still repairable, right? It's still somehow, you can fix it if IQ makes some really good plays from the backlines. Now, but considering this situation right now over here, Uzum is already been taken down. He's already being battered and bashed as Blade. He's just struggling to survive, finding some areas to try and breathe, but seems like that's not gonna happen.
No, there ain't no Solace right here. There definitely ain't no Solace being showcased on the side of Shaptar, as we do have one more player from IA jumping into the spray. But at the same point of time, we did just see a minute ago that we do have Magnus in the vicinity of the Grounders as well. Now, Grounders, it seems like this is going to be the moment where I8 will not be allowed to move out of the spot. They are done with their smokes. They've only got that battered vehicle around, but that also will not be able to give them the cover that they needed. And just like that, I8 with 4 points get eliminated on the 11th spot. 19's remaining, 31 players in total, wherein again the Grounders, they have a very good spot right here, but can they deliver from here? Because the compound is theirs, all the other teams are spread out thin, but will that be enough?
That's a big question, right? Because at this particular moment, it's all about having that high ground advantage with Team Bablu have. But then again, if the circle sort of shifts towards the school, like you said, it's going to be the Magnus or the Grounders. But look at Teen Wolf trying to hold on a push coming in from TUF, who have already lost out on Virus. Now, Thor might have given his position away, and he's getting taken down from elsewhere. Has to be Pan from a different angle, gets the better out of him. And this is the cue. This is where Team Bablu knows that they need to go in for the push. Joker has been spotted out. He's trying to engage, but there you go. Pan again giving that quintessential cover fire. And Team Bablu managed to eliminate Team TUF.
Bablu is back, mate. Bablu is back with a vengeance.
Definitely.
They are not going to fall back this time around with 7 finishes confirmed already. With that perfect approach coming in from that hill, they've got the advantage of getting to know where the other teams are going to be. But then again, as you mentioned, the zone is what will dictate their standing chances, because after all, as soon as they leave that hill, they need to have a lot of cover. If they don't, we did see that they have one buggy, but will that be enough to get them towards a compound? And the safety net of that compound itself is going to be in the hands of the grounders as well as Magnus this time around.
Oh yeah, indeed it will be. Now this is going to be so crucial, right, at this point, how the grounders are gonna react and retaliate to the situation. But then again, if you kind of open your eyes, there is that, slight possibility where even Team QWERTY can walk off with a win, or maybe I just spoke soon because one of those players have already been taken down. And now at this point, this has to be one of those worst spots, right? But the moment a single grenade just comes in, they're basically done and dusted, as Gravity, spotting out Hunter over there, did somehow manage to land a few shots. But that was just enough.
That definitely was for now, as we do have Khan being provided that smoke cover, and at the same time, Bablu's Pika OP will jump in, and there is the opening that Bablu needed, and thankfully at such a perfect timing, because back in the spot, Zipian was still holding on steady, given that cover fire, which was so very important. With 10 finishes already confirmed for the side of Bablu, there's absolutely no stopping from their side, but Magnus is going to be right around the corner, and that is going to be taken care of the grounders. This team of the grounders is helping out the positioning of Bablu's Pika, but will this all turn out against Bablu, or can the grounders take it all away? Well, we'll find out in just a few minutes.
Of course. Now, I really love these, new figures coming up. Nobody has a grenade. Had any player of the grounders had a grenade, I'm pretty sure Magnus and Bablu, both of them, would have had such a tough time. Now, TFW, they're just left with Leon and Kyle, and they've got to make work out of it. At the same time, you also do have the players of T20 T20 QWERTY, somehow still managing to breathe. But the next circle shift, Lakshya, is going to be so important for all these teams to determine where they stand and how can they, what their next approach will be.
Well, again, you talk about those numbers advantage, that definitely is in favor of the grounders. You talk about the momentum of our advantage as well as the cover, of course, as I mentioned, it is all favoring the grounders. And also at the same time, they do know, never mind, because it is going to be QWERTY, as you were mentioning. They just needed that one opening spot, and they have delivered that in style with that perfectly set up nade. They are able to bring down one player, but again, the teammate is going to be right around the vicinity. The numbers advantage helping out the grounders, but not going to be the case, because QWERTY are up to the cause. Gravity's nade back to back, delivering in style, and Sharptar are going to be jumping in to confirm those finish points for themselves. But what a play this was from QWERTY. Now Sharptar, will he be able to get that cover? Will he be able to give that revival? Because QWERTY, the time is ticking, the clock is ticking. At the same time, we still do have Magnus right around in the vicinity. Magnus could very well third party this entire fight.
Oh, they certainly can. But now they're just being patient, right? They know the time's gonna strike, their time's gonna come, because T20 QWERTY, they've got their eyes set at the players of the grounders. Now, it's going to be important for them to somehow make it inside the circle, out of which the grounders really have a huge, massive chunk around it. For TFT, it's sort of a lost cause. They have to be the opportunists over there. They have to wait it out for the others, right? Let them fight it out. But Mr. Black, he's trying to make a move, but eventually will get taken down by Gravity. The assaulter that we were talking about is so well settled in. Evil Boy barely has any meds, rather just few bandages to work around with. Will also get taken down. But at the same time, T20 QWERTY over here, he's getting bashing from the backlines, and this is what we were scared of. And this is something that we also did bring upon during the cast, right? Saying that they might be the opportunists. They found a moment, they managed to wipe out the threat that was troubling the players of Team Grounders, giving them a sigh of relief.
What? This could very well turn out to a completely different team. This chicken dinner could very well be TFDs, because as far as we can see, we've got Bablu, only one player surviving. That's going to be Pan. Now Pan is an opportunist. As soon as he finds an opening, he's going to go for it. The team of his already has 13 finishes confirmed. Along with that, these are the only 4 teams surviving now. Alongside all of that, there we go, the opening that Pan was needing, he's going to be able to get that, and that 13 is going to turn into 14. 7 finish points already confirmed for Pan. And this guy, he just does not stop. Cairo also goes down. What a play! What a massive play from the side of Bablu's pan.
He's making waves, Blotter. That is all I can say at this
Wow.
particular moment. Right off the bat, comes with that punch in the first game, and this is what all the Bablu fans have been waiting for with bated breaths. Now, Fan, his position has been compromised and the caster's curse is real. And suddenly, when we were really considering TFD to be the outcast, they are the ones who are en route to the first chicken dinner. There you go. The final finish comes in. And the Faulty Devils, ladies and gentlemen, are your winners of game number 1. And that is some really, really next level things that we have been seeing. Of course, a few changes would be made in the graphics over here. It indeed was the Faulty Devils just went in, managed to get those 9 eliminations, staying on the back lines, Lakshay. And